Viruses are amazing molecular machines that are much tinier than even the smallest cells. We often think of viruses, like the flu, chickenpox, or herpes, as external invaders. But viruses are more inherently associated with human life than we often realize. Even after recovering from a viral infection, there will always be a piece of that virus encoded within your DNA. Approximately 8% of the human genome is made up of endogenous retroviruses, which are viral gene sequences that have become a permanent part of the human lineage after they infected our ancient ancestors. And these endogenous retroviruses don't just sit silently in the genome. Their expression has been implicated in diseases like autoimmune disorders and breast cancer. But endogenous retroviruses can also be extremely useful for human survival. For example, they play a very important role as an interface between a pregnant mother and her fetus by regulating placental development and function. It has been suggested that viruses are not only necessary for the existence of placental mammals, but also for the existence of life in general. Professor Louis P. Villarreal, the founding director of the Center for Virus Research at UC Irvine, says it like this: "So powerful and ancient are viruses that I would summarize their role in life as ex virus omnia, from virus everything." Viruses are powerful, ancient, and vital to our existence. But they are extremely simple constructions. They tend to be nothing more than a few pieces: a protein capsid, which is a simplistic and protective shell, a protein called a polymerase, which carries out most of the functions related to replicating the viral genome, and a sequence of nucleotides, either RNA or DNA, that encode for the previously mentioned viral proteins. You can see some of the ways that these viral components can be assembled into a unified whole. Unlike a human genome, a viral genome can be thought of as a self-contained model of the entire viral form. Within its RNA or DNA, a virus contains all of the instructions necessary to create an entirely new body for itself, and to replicate those same instructions. Viruses are so simple that they don't always need their own body to survive. They have rhythms like all living things. We experience these rhythms through cycles of sleep and wakefulness, known as circadian, whereas viral rhythms occur as periods of dormancy between rounds of infection. Viruses don't technically have a body during their dormant phase. They are nothing more than a string of letters in the book of the genome. But as soon as something disturbs their sleep, like a mutation or a new virus invading the host, viruses can awaken and rebuild their physical bodies from a purely genetic form. A biological virus can literally lay dormant in a Word document as a string of A's, T's, C's, and G's. In other words, viruses can exist independently of genetics, solely in the symbolic dimension of evolution. A virus is nothing more than an idea until it finds a host within which it can replicate itself. But despite their ephemerality, viral sequences are clearly important for our lives as humans. In many ways, viruses are eerily reminiscent of the idea of ancient spells, which sit quietly as words in a book until someone utters the mystical syllables and unleashes the magic contained within. Perhaps due to the mysticism of this idea, many scientists and philosophers have a hard time accepting viruses as living things. But whether or not you classify viruses as living entities, they certainly show us that the line between living things and pure information is a lot fuzzier than we often think.